Welcome to the viewers for the lecture on structural analysis. In the last 5 lectures, we have been discussing about cables and suspension bridges. In lecture number 71 to 74, we have been discussing about cables without stiffening girder. So, we have discussed problems on cables with the support at the same level, supports at different levels, finding out the horizontal tension and various other parameters. Just we have discussed completely. We have covered almost all types of problems that are expected. So, all types of problems in cables without stiffening girder. In lecture number 75, we have introduced stiffening girder. There are 2 types. One is 3-inch stiffening girder and 2-inch stiffening girder. And also the function of stiffening girder, all those things we have discussed. We don't want to repeat now. Right. Now, we have done a numerical problem on cable with a 3-inch stiffening girder by using an analytical procedure. Now, the same thing can be done by using influence line also. So, we know influence lines are due to moving unit load. It gives the variation of a function, variation of shear force, variation of bending moment, variation of horizontal thrust, variation of horizontal tension, variation of bending moment. All these things when a unit load moves from one end to the other end of the given structure. When the unit load moves from the left end to the right end, how the particular parameter, the bending moment varies. When it becomes 0, when it becomes maximum, where it becomes maximum, all these things will be given. The variation of the parameter will be given by the moving unit load. Moving unit load, that is very important. Unit load is very important. Right. Now, in the case of cables with stiffening girders, we know the various parameters involved will be what is the bending moment at a section, what is the shear force at a section, what is the UDL, W or P, that is stands out to the cable, what is the horizontal tension, and these are some of the parameters that will be calculated. Bending moment, the shear force in the girder, the UDL that is transferred, and the horizontal tension. These are the different values. First, for this we will have to discuss first what is influence line for horizontal tension, what is influence line for UDL, what is influence line for bending moment, shear force, etc. We will have to discuss. Right. Now, let us start from ILD for the horizontal tension. ILD for the horizontal tension, ILD for the horizontal tension. Right. Now, let us take a cable stiffened by a 3-inch stiffening girder. Stiffened by you know that the stiffening girder, we will take a 3-inch stiffening girder. You know that this is suspended from the cable through hangers or suspenders. So, this already we know. We don't want to discuss this again. This already is known. It's a stiffening girder. Right. Now, in the girder, ILD is due to a moving unit load. Let us assume that a unit load moves from one end to the other end. The unit load at the instant under consideration is at a distance A from one end. The unit load, it is at some distance A from the left support. L is the the span. So that this distance is equal to L minus A. L minus A. Right. Now, this unit load will cause a horizontal tension. So, we have discussed in the earlier lecture. So, this is the only load that is being considered now. So, there we have discussed a problem with the 450 kilonewton, 280 kilonewton, etc. In that place, we have just applied unit load. Now, this will be transformed as UDL and that will be transmitted to the cable, and also the horizontal tension is because this is the only load applied, due to which there will be a horizontal tension. So, what is the horizontal tension? That is our objective. Right. Now, for getting that, now VA into L, suppose this is A, let us call this support as A. Earlier we have called this as E and this as F. We will call this as AB just for discussion. Right. So, this is VA, this is VB. Right. VA into L, VA into L minus 1 into L minus A equal to 0, or VA equal to L minus A by L. VB equal to 1 minus VA, that will give you A by L. Also, when we take moment about B, it is VB into L minus 1 into A equal to 0. That also will give you VB equal to A by L. VA equal to L minus A by L, VB equal to A by L. Right. Now, we know that the lowest point in the cable C, the bending moment is 0. Bending moment is 0. So, considering the forces either to the left of this section or to the right of the section. Right of the section will be more convenient because this unit load is absent here, therefore that will be more convenient. So, when we take moment about the lowest point in the cable, it is VB into L by 2. VB into L by 2. When you take moment about this point, it is VB into L by 2 minus the horizontal tension into the central dip of the cable. Horizontal. So, minus H into D equal to 0. B into L by 2 minus H into D equal to 0. VB equal to A by L, VB equal to A by L into L by 2 equal to H into D. Or we can take this D to the left hand side, equal to into 1 by D. So, L and L will get cancelled. H equal to A by 2D. H equal to A by 2D. H equal to A by. So, this is the governing equation for the horizontal tension, because A can be anything. Now, at this moment, we have assumed the unit load to be here. A can be here. A can be here. A can be at the right support. It can be. A is a variable. So, it is the horizontal tension for different values of A, that is all. Right. Now, when A equal to 0, H equal to 0. When A equal to 0, H equal to 0. When A equal to L by 2, H equal to L by 2 into 1 by 2D, that is equal to L by 4D. H equal to in terms of L by 4D. So, this is the governing equation for the horizontal tension for different values of A. Therefore, this is a variable here. This is fixed. A is a variable. The power of A is 1. Therefore, we will have linear variation. The horizontal tension, the influence line for the horizontal tension, we will have a linear variation. Therefore, when A equal to 0, H equal to 0. When A equal to L by 2, H equal to L by 2 into 1 by 2D equal to L by 4D. Therefore, the influence line for the horizontal tension will be, here it is 0, here it is L by 4D. Variation is linear because the power of A is 1. Therefore, linear variation. And the ordinate at the center is L by 4D. That is, when the unit load is here, the ILD, this is ILD for H, ILD for H. When the unit load is here, the load into this ordinate will be the value of horizontal tension. When the unit load is here, load into this ordinate will be the horizontal tension. Right. Now before, this is the ILD for the horizontal tension. Right. Now in lecture number 75, you can recall, we have done a problem on a suspension bridge of 200 meters with a central dip of 16 meters. There were two loads. Now here the loads were one load of 450 kilonewton, another load at 150 at a distance of, this is 280 kilonewton. So this is at a distance of 40 meters. This is at a distance of 150 meters. So this is the problem that we have done earlier. Right. So from the right hand side, it is a distance of 50 meters. Right. Now, if this is the ILD, how to use this ILD for H without the calculation that I have done earlier? How to find out the horizontal tension? We know the horizontal tension that we have calculated earlier was 1000 kilonewton. So here the influence line for the horizontal tension is a triangle. Maximum ordinate is L by 4D. This is L by 4D. L by 4D is L is 200 by 4 into 16. That is so this is 50 by 50 by 16. This is 50 by 16 or 25 by 8. That is 3 point something equal to 3 point something. Right. 3 point something. Now there is a load 40 here. There is a load. This is 450. There is a load here 280. So this ordinate we have to calculate. So this we'll call it as O1. This we will call it as O2. Right. Now for 100 meters up to the center, for 100 if it is O1, for 100 if it is O1, what is the value for 40? For 100 from the right hand side, for 100 if the ordinate is O2 for the, no, it is not O1. We are going to find out the value of O1. 100, this is 3 point something. 3 point, this value at the center, this value at the center is 3 point something. So for 100, if it is 3, what is the value for this thing? Similarly, from the right hand side, for 100, if it is 3 point something, what is the value for 50? So this value is O1. This value is O2. O1 will be approximately 1 by 2. 0.5 by 100 is 0.5. 0.5 into 3 will be 1.5. This will be less than that value. So 0.4 into 3 something. 0.4 into 3 approximately, let us forget about that decimal, just for satisfaction, it is 40 by 100 is 0.4. 0.4 into 3 is 1.2. Here 0.5 into 3 is 1.5. So 1.2 into the load is 450 plus 1.5 into 280. The sum of these two will give you 1000 kilonewtons. You can check up the calculation later. So we have to find out the ordinate. So this is L by 4D. This is influence line for the horizontal tension. So substituting these values, we can get the ordinate 25 by 8, approximately 3 point something. 3 point something. Right. Now for 100 meters, if it is 3 point something, for 40 meters, what is the value? From here, for 100 meters, if it is 3 point something, for 50 meters, what is the value? That is O2, O1 and O2. So the load above O1 is 450. So 450 into O1 plus 280 into O2 will give you 1000 kilonewtons. So the viewers can check it. You can check up the calculation, you will be getting 1000 kilonewtons. This is how you have to get the influence line for the horizontal tension, and for a given numerical example, how to use the influence line. So this is one part. Now, due to the same load and the same span, we have got the UDL. We have got the UDL equal to, towards the end of the problem, we have done it, 3.2 kilonewton per meter. 3.2. So now we will get the ILD for the influence, ILD for the UDL, and then how to use it for this problem. Right. Alright. Now, we know H equal to, this is ILD for P or W, no problem, P or W, right, ILD for P or W. We know the ILD for the horizontal tension is given by, the general equation is A by 2D. The general equation is A by 2D. Due to the moving unit load, it is A by 2D. Because A is a variable. So A by 2D. In this equation, you substituted A equal to L by 2 and you got L by 4D. That is for the horizontal tension. So after substituting A equal to L by 2, we have got that value. So this is the general equation. This is due to the different positions of the moving unit load. So A by 2D. So H equal to A by 2D. H equal to A by 2D. Right. Due to the moving unit load. Right. Now, when you convert the load, because this is the only load that we are considering, you are considering only moving unit load, no other load is considered now. Now, this will be transformed as UDL, and this will be subjected to a UDL of W per meter or P per meter. That already we have discussed in the earlier problem. Right. So this is right. So this will be subjected to the uniformly distributed load. Right. So when it is subjected to a uniformly distributed load, H equal to PL square by 8D or WL square by 8. So here we have taken it as W or WL square by 8D, or you can say PL square by 8D. Already we know when the cables are supported at the same level, H equal to PL square by 8D or WL square by 8D. Right. So this is due to the moving unit load. This is due to the equivalent UDL. Therefore, A by 2D due to the moving unit load is also equal to WL square. Once if it is converted as UDL, that will be over the entire span. So WL square by 8D. So D will get cancelled. Therefore, we are interested in getting the value of W. Therefore, W equal to W equal to 8, we can bring it to the left hand side, or W equal to, on the other side, this will go to the numerator, this will go to the denominator, 8 and L square and 8. Already there is A by 2 into A by 2, A by 2. Therefore, this is D, A by 2D equal to 8D, right? 4A by L square. So this will become 4. So this is equal to 4A by L square. So this is the governing equation. W equal to 4A by L square is the governing equation. Now here we have assumed the unit load at the position A from the left hand support. This can be variable. Unit load can occupy any position from 0 to L. So we have now, at the moment, we have considered the unit load to be at a distance of A from one end. For that, this is the value W. But unit load is variable. So I mean the position is variable from 0 to L, right? When A equal to 0, that means when the unit load is at the left support, W will be 0. W will be 0. When the unit load is at the midspan, A equal to L by 2, W will be equal to 4 by L square into A equal to L by 2. So this and this will become 2, L and L will get cancelled, equal to 2 by L. 2 by L. So this is about the values when A equal to 0 and A equal to L by 2. And A equal to L, that we can just find out. Right. Now, that is about the influence line. So, this is the variation of influence line for different values of A. Different values of A. So, this is the value of A. For different values of A, it varies from 0 to L by 2 at the 2 by L at the center. 2 by L at the center. And by symmetry on the other side also it will become L 2 by L to 0. Right. So that is, and the variable, the power of the variable is 1, A equal to 1. Therefore, it will have linear variation. Therefore, the ILD for the UDL will be again a triangle. ILD for UDL will be again a triangle having a maximum ordinate of 2 by L. This value equal to 2 by L. 2 by L at the, so this is the governing equation. So the value is 0 to 2 by L. So this is the ILD. This is the ILD for W, or you can say P. ILD for right. Now we have done a problem in the earlier lecture number 75. We have done a problem. We have considered a load of 450 kilonewton, and we have applied another load of 280 kilonewton. This is at a distance of 50 meters. From here, this is a distance of 40 meters. The total span is 200 meters. This is the suspension bridge that we have considered in the earlier problem. Now, how to find out the value of the UDL? We have calculated the value of P equal to 3.2 kilonewton per meter. This is towards the end of the problem. We have calculated the UDL as 3.2 kilonewton per meter. Now we will find out the same using influence lines. We know ILD for the UDL is a triangle having a maximum ordinate of 2 by L at the center. So this value here is 2 by L equal to 2 by 200 equal to 0.001, 1 by 100, 1 by, that is the ordinate. This is the ILD for P, ILD for W or ILD for P. Any notation you can use, ILD for W or ILD for P. So this we have reproduced here, that's all, with number, right. Now, there is a load of 450 here, there is a load of 450. there is another load of 280 here. Right. Now, this ordinate will be so this is 40. So for 100, from here this is 100. For 100, if it is 0.001, what is the value for 40? This value you will have to get. Now here, this value will be for 100 from the right hand side, when this is 0.001 at the center, what is the value for 50? What is the value for 50? Therefore, this will be 0.4, therefore this will be 0.004. 0.004. So 40 by 100 is 0.0. So 0.004. This will be 0.005. So we know already we have used in rolling loads and influence lines. So the value of W equal to 450 into this ordinate 0.0004 plus this load is 280, load into ordinate 280 into 0.0005. So this, when we calculate, has to give 3.2 kilonewton per meter. So the viewers can substitute, verify for the accuracy of the calculations. I hope these values are correct. If these values are correct, you will be getting 3 point. Otherwise, there may be some that you can check it up, no problem. This is the procedure. This is how you will have to get the influence lines. This is how to get the influence line. What is the influence line? What is its variation, etc. And this is how to use for getting the uniformly distributed load due to a given for a given span and loading. Right. So this is ILD for P. These values we have calculated towards the end of the problem. But anyway, this is the ILD for H and ILD for the UD, uniformly distributed load, P or W. Right. Next is the ILD for bending moment. We know the bending moment at any section is given by mu x minus h into y. Mu x minus h into y. Now mu x is the bending moment as a simply support beam. Now here we are going to draw the influence line diagram. We have considered moving unit load. So we are not bothered about any other rule. We are going to consider, for all calculation, we are going to consider moving unit load. So now the moving unit load is at a distance x, A from the left hand support. Now already we have done under beams. This is the beam. If this is a section, we know ILD for bending moment as a beam is this thing. Suppose this is x, this is L minus x, we know this ordinate will be x into L minus x by L. This is what we have done earlier. So same thing. Here also we are considering only as a simply supported beam. So unit load is at a distance A from x from one end here. Now here it is A from one end. Therefore, the influence line diagram for bending moment as a simply supported beam for a given section will be this is A into L minus A by L only. Or x into L minus x by L only as a simply supported beam. There is no change, right? This is for mu x. This is for mu x, right? Minus h into y. There is another term, h into y. You know, for h, the ILD consists of a triangle. ILD for the horizontal tension, we know it consists of a triangle with a maximum ordinate of L by 4D at the center. L by 4. Just now we have discussed. So, ILD for horizontal tension is a triangle having a maximum ordinate of L by 4D at the center. So, this is for H only. What about Y? Y equal to, so H equal to L by 4D. So, this already we have derived. So, we need not derive this again. This is already available. Just now we have discussed, right? Y, H into Y, you know, it is 4D by L square, x into L minus x. Or here, we have used the term A, therefore, we will use A itself. So, A into L minus A, let us say, right. Now, so H into Y. So, 4D and 4D will get cancelled. This L and L will get cancelled. Therefore, it will be A by R, A into L minus A by L. That is so that ordinate is also equal to, so this is at the center because H is maximum at the center. Therefore, that into Y, that gives A into L minus A by L. Therefore, minus H into Y, that is, this is at the center whose value equal to this value is also equal to L by A into L minus A by L. So, this is plus, this is minus. So, this is your net diagram. This is the influence line diagram for bending moment in a 3-hinged stiffening girder. So, this is ILD for MX. ILD for MX. Now, so this is the influence line for bending moment at a section X. So, this is what earlier discussed earlier under beams. So, same concept for calculating mu x, and here the additional term is H into Y. So, Y equal to 4D by L square x into L minus x. Now, that is the problem, right. Now, what we have to do is, we have done a problem just now, lecture numbers. I will not do the calculations, I will just tell you how to do it, how to do the problem. Now, for the problem that we have discussed, we have first calculated bending moment at G 75 meters from one end, 75. So, this is 125, 200 meters. So, ILD for bending moment mu x will be having a triangle with the maximum ordinate of A into L minus A by L. A equal to 75, L minus A is 125 by L is 200. So, this we can simplify. This is 3, this is 8. So, 375 by 8, we can just do the calculation. But of course, I didn't think of this problem earlier. So, this calculation we can do. I will just do one more problem on this to make things better. Another thing is, that is H into Y, that is also having a maximum ordinate of this is also equal to A into L minus A by. So, this is also equal to A into L minus A by L. So this is approximately 46 point something, let us say it is 47. So it is 46 point something, let us say it is approximately 47. It is actually 46 point something, right. So let us say this is 47. This is also 47. This is also 47. 47. Right. Now we have two loads. So one load here 450 kilonewton at a distance of 40 meters. We have another load here, that load is 280. This is the ILD for the given span and due to unit load. This is due to the unit load. Now how to apply this ILD for bending moment for the given load? Right, we have just now in the earlier lecture we have done a problem with these two loads for a suspension bridge of 200 meters span. Same data just I am using here. Of course I will not do the calculations because I have not planned for it. Otherwise I would have completed the calculation also. We can just do it approximately, no problem. 50, right. Now what you have to do is, this is the net positive, this is a net negative. So we have to consider only this diagram. We have to consider only this diagram. Right. 47, let us say, approximately 47. Right. Now this is 40 meters. This is 75 meters. And of course, this is 100. We have to find out the net ordinate here. We have to find out this ordinate here. This we will call it as O1. We will call it as net ordinate. We will have to find out. Here also we have to find out the net ordinate here. The net ordinate we will call it as O2. That we will have to. Once we find out the value of O1 and O2, it's only a question of 450 into O1 plus 280 into O2. That will give the bending moment that we have calculated earlier. That's all. You have to find out the net ordinate. How to find out the value of O1? See, the total ordinate here we will have to calculate. The total ordinate here will be, for that we will have to find out the net ordinate here. Net ordinate, net positive ordinate we have to find out. Net positive ordinate we have to find out. And also the net negative ordinate we will have to find out. The net positive ordinate will be, this ordinate will be, total is 47, total is 47 minus, 47 is from here to here, minus this negative ordinate. This ordinate for 100 meters, if it is 47, what is the value for 75 meters? Minus for 100 meters, if it is 47, what is the value for 75? So that will give you the value of O1, net ordinate. Net ordinate equal to 47 here. Now this is not O1, this is, say, we call it as O positive, we will call it as O negative. O negative. O positive and O negative. Right. So this is O positive. O positive equal to 47 minus. So 47 is the total ordinate here, minus this. Minus this means for 100, if it is 47, what is the value for 75? For 100, if it is 47, what is the value for? So that will give you the positive ordinate. Positive ordinate you will be getting. If this positive ordinate is known, we can find out this. O1 will be, it's very simple, because for 75, if it is OP, for 75, if it is OP, what is the value for? What is the value for 40? That's all. For 75, the net ordinate is OP. For 40, what is the net ordinate? That we can find out. Similarly, this value O2 will be for, that is, we have to find out the net ordinate here. Before calculating the net ordinate, we will have to find out the value of O negative. O negative. Just using different places. Anyway, I will do one more problem to make things better, because this will not fully help, I know. So just we will complete for having taken this problem, just to complete the discussion. I will do one more problem by doing all the calculations, so that that will be more helpful, right? So ON will be that is for this is actually 47 minus this value you want. That is ON will be, I am using the board here and there, don't get confused. ON will be, the total ordinate is 47. The total ordinate is 47. 47 minus something. Minus something means this is the minus quantity. That is for 125, when it is 47, what is the value for 100? For 125, if it is 47, what is the value for this? So that is this negative ordinate. Minus for 125 from the right hand side, if it is 47, what is the value for 100? 100, yes, that we will have to calculate. That will give you the value of ON. If you can find out the value of ON, if this is known, now this O2 will be for 100 meters if it is ON, for 100 meters if it is ON, what is the value for 50 meters? That's all. For 100 meters, we are going to consider only this triangle. This triangle only we are going to consider. So for 100 meters, if it is ON, what is the value for 50 meters? If you find out O1 and O2, the bending moment at G, of course, a little tedious in calculations, but we have to do it. If you are asked to do it using influence lines, there is no other go. Analytically, it was easy. Now it is little more involved in terms of calculations. So it will be 450 into O1 plus 280 into O2. If this is done, we will get the same value as we have got it in the analytical method. This is the influence line diagram, and using influence line diagram for the problem that we have done earlier. But after seeing this lecture, the viewers can do this problem once, even though I am going to do one more problem on this topic. There we will not discuss how to get the influence line diagram, all those things. I will directly use the influence line diagram and solve the problem, because how to get the influence line diagram we are discussing here. There we will straight away draw the influence line diagram and use the diagrams for the given problem. So that is how we will have to get the bending moment diagram. Similarly, the influence line diagram for shear force, we know the shear force at any section is equal to beam shear SB minus H tan theta. Right. Now, in the case of beams, simply supported beams, already we have discussed at a section X, at any given section X, the influence line diagram will be consisting of, so if this is X, this will be X by L, and hope you will be able to recall what you have done earlier. It is L minus X by L. This is the ILD for shear force as a beam. This is SB. This is due to a unit load. And later how to apply this for a given load and a given span we will discuss later. This is the beam shear. and then minus h tan theta. We know ILD for the horizontal tension is a triangle having the maximum ordinate of L by 4D. L by 4. Just now we have discussed, few minutes back we have discussed, it is a triangle having a maximum ordinate of L by 4D at the center. This is for H only. This is only for H into tan theta. What is tan theta? Tan theta equal to 4D by L square into L minus 2x. Tan theta equal to 4D by L square into L minus 2x. So this you will have to substitute and get the value. So in the given problem, D will be known, L will be known, L minus 2x. What is the section at which we want the value will be known? So L by 4D. So 4D and 4D will get cancelled. This L and L will get cancelled. So that will be equal to, this will be equal to say 1 by L, that is L minus 2x by L, that's all. L minus 2x by L. L minus 2x by L will be the ordinate. So that we can find out. We can find out this value. So this is minus. So it is SB minus H tan theta. So minus means minus and minus this will coincide. So this is minus up to the center. This is up to the center because this ordinate is maximum at the center. Therefore, up to the center, and this will be. This is minus. This is also minus. So this is plus. This is minus. So this will get cancelled. The common area, this will get cancelled. This area will get cancelled. So finally, you will have only this diagram. You will get only this diagram. Final. So SB beam shear minus H tan theta. This will be the ILD for shear force. Shear force at a section. So we will have to get these ordinates. So this will be the ILD for the shear force. Now after calculating the value of x by L, L minus x by L and this ordinate, this is the ILD. Now in the given problem, just now we have completed, in the earlier lecture we have completed one problem with a load of 450 kilonewton and 40 meters from one end. Now we are interested in getting the shear force at the section G 75 meters from one end. Suppose if the shear force at 75 meters from one end is required, our one load is at a distance of 40 meters. This is 450 kilonewton. Now there is another load of 280 kilonewton. This is at a distance of 50 meters. This is at a distance of 40 meters. So 40 meters into, we will call this as O1. The net ordinate is this only. This will call it as O2. O2 is this only. This ordinate is alone is O2. This total ordinate is O1. This is minus. This is also minus. We have got the shear force equal to minus 100 kilonewton in the earlier problem, minus 100. So this is minus, this is minus. So 450 into this ordinate plus 280 into this ordinate will give you the shear force at G. So this is about the shear force at a given section. Then we will have to draw ILD for maximum bending moment due to a concentrated load, maximum bending moment due to uniformly distributed load, and how to apply them for a given problem. Those things we will discuss later. Before that, these are the ILDs for bending moment, shear force, uniformly distributed load, and the horizontal tension. So I have explained how to apply this for a problem that I have done in the earlier lecture. In the same topic, directly using the, now you know what is influence line, directly using the influence line, how to use it for a given problem. We will take up a numerical example, we will do it in the next lecture, right. Thank you.